Oh, it's very calming.
Isn't it?
It's lovely. Hypnotic is exactly the right word. Welcome, Enya. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, lots of people have been in touch because we've been saying perhaps you might be going on tour, and lots of big fans who know you haven't toured, not done a full concert. Is it a possibility?
It's something that I've been asked when I finished an album, but with the success of Watermark, it took 3 years on the writing, on the arrangements, and on Watermark. And I did a very long promotional trip because of the success of Orinoco Flow and with Watermark. And it came time where I had to go back because of 3 years working on an album. The priority was to go into the studio to work on the second album. And I've continued working like this for a while, but I feel now maybe it's time to do.
Well, I was going to say, how do you feel about the idea of playing a whole concert in front of an audience? Is there, because you've never done it before like that, is there a bit of a reluctance? Because I would imagine reproducing that studio sound is very special to people. Would be a challenge.
It would be a challenge. It'd be a different rendering of the music, but with the choir, with the orchestra, it'd be very exciting.
Oh yes, would be.
What would the audience come away? Would they hear something very, very different? When you say it's a different rendering of the music, because what happens in the studio and the way it's treated is very different to what you'd hear in a concert hall.
Well, in the studio, I record with Nikki and with Roma, and we work together for so many years.
The lyricist, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
and Nikki arranges the music production. And what Nikki wanted to do was to take one voice and treat it like an instrument, and to create a wall of sound with a voice, because his influences would be from Phil Spector, from the Beach Boys. So this is where we started firstly, was to experiment with the voice, with this wall of sound.
Let's see if there's a wall of sound in your new single, Echoes in Rain. That's a single taken from the new album, which is Dark Sky Island, which is all about being able to see the stars at night.
Yes, that was the main inspiration for the title track, Dark Sky Island. Roma had written this beautiful poem about Sark Island, and coming from the northwest of Ireland, in a very rural area, I'm very aware of the dark sky, but this is where it's the first island to be designated Dark Sky Area, and I haven't been, but it's been described to me.
It's well worth a visit. Really amazing. I have, yeah. They don't have cars. They have tractors, plenty of tractors.
I heard that. But the only means to get there is by boat.
Yes.
And then the evening sky, it's quite unrecognizable, I believe, because we have certain landmarks that we would recognize in the sky, but this is quite magical.
You know, looking back at your credits, 75 million records, 4 Grammy Awards, 6 World Music Awards, an Ivor Novello for International Achievement, yet you've managed to keep, and I don't know if this has been deliberate, please tell me, yourself very below the radar on a personal level. Like, your music comes out, we see you, but then you're away. Is that deliberate?
It's because of, again, to go back to Watermark, the success was really to the music as such. You know, people heard Orinoco Flow, they didn't know who was it, a band, a singer. And in that regard, the music kind of sold by itself. So I always think fame, success are two different things. So I didn't really have to become so famous to sell the music. The music has sort of sold by itself.
But are you a shy person, more introvert than extrovert?
First time I was on stage was at 3.5 years of age, in a beautiful sort of theatre production where there were these characters that came on stage, fairy tale characters, Santa Claus, the Snow Queen, Easter Bunny, and then Little Red Riding Hood came on stage, and I sung a little song. I felt very at home on stage.
So are you an introvert or an extrovert then?
Extrovert maybe when you're on stage, introvert when you're not.
I'm very passionate about music, and I love sharing music, you know, and a performance would be so wonderful.
Well, lovely to have you with us.
I think that's a hint to a
Fingers
tour.
crossed that you do get that tour organised. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Enya's album is called Dark Sky Island.